If your child explodes, shuts down, or runs away at the smallest stressor, it's not a behavioral problem. It's a nervous system stuck in survival mode. Fight, flight, or freeze and fawn doesn't just happen to adults, it can happen to kids. And when kids' nervous systems get stuck in there, it just becomes really hard for them to get unstuck. Not impossible. And there's lots of ways that we can regulate the nervous system, but that is what has to happen. We regulate first, then we teach. That is when a child's nervous system feels safe enough. What does fight, flight, or freeze look like in a kid? So fight is exactly what you think. Yelling, arguing, aggression, lashing out. Flight, running away, hiding, refusing to engage. Freeze, zoning out, being unfocused, being silent, staring blankly. And fawn is in there too. Those are for those kids that are hypervigilant and working in a very perfectionistic manner, which sometimes they really get missed because these are just very high level kids. They tend to be quiet and introverted, but have a lot of stress running through them. Not every kid in that pattern is like that, but you want to think about that as well. When this is going on, these aren't choices, these are autonomic survival responses. And once they start activating consistently, that means your child is much more likely to stay stuck in that pattern. So, why does the nervous system get struck? Well, we have chronic stress, we have sensory overload, we have family tension. Sometimes parents are really at odds or their siblings at odds. We have a real increase in neurodivergent brains and mental health issues, and they're just more prone to dysregulation. They're uniquely wired and wonderful brains. But we also need to know the nervous systems are more sensitive, so they feel things more strongly, and that can cause that activation that causes them to get stuck. A nervous system that is more activated then starts to perceive all stressors as a danger signal. And so things that are more benign become activating. And that's that rich get richer, the poor get poorer, the negative Matthew effect. So the more calm you are, the more calm you'll be. The more stressed you are, the more stressed you'll be. Now you can break it, right, by regulating. These are all just defense mechanisms of the nervous system. And the key to breaking that is to regulate. You can't teach skills or correct behavior when the nervous system is in one of these survival modes. First we calm, and then everything else can follow. I promise you, I do it all the time. So how do you know when your kid actually is dysregulated? So we're seeing explosive or avoidant responses, emotional reactions that come out of nowhere, or are big emotions to small things. Takes more than 20, 30 minutes to go back to baseline after getting upset. And that would have to be consistently, not one time. Sometimes we get upset. They resist help, they shut down or become defiant when overwhelmed. Again, consistently, not a one-off. Like, I can't believe they just did that. How do we begin resetting the nervous system? It's all my work. If you're new to me and you want more information and you want it delivered in your inbox, make sure to subscribe to our amazing Dysregulation Insider newsletter, drroseann.com/newsletter. It's one newsletter a week. It has great information, science, and practical strategies that you can start using. These are savable resources. My tribe is telling me, which is awesome. First, I'm going to say you got to do the C and calms. You got to co-regulate. You got to calm yourself down, right? So the calm must come from you first. There's lots of ways to do that. We want to do things like use breath work, have a soft tone, soften your eye contact, and just be present for your child. This is how we help them. Rhythm, walking, humming is all grounding work to them. You can do these things together, and you want to reduce stimulation in your environment and increase predictability. Predictability of routines and structure really sends a subconscious safety signal to the nervous system. And it's why so many kids that are prone to dysregulation need structure and routine. Daily nervous system care is more effective than just reacting. So taking 10 minutes a day to reset your nervous system, work with your child to reset theirs, and make it part of that routine, like brushing your teeth, is critical. One of the things that we always talk about with dysregulated kids is how to manage in the meltdown. but we're not really talking about prevention. And so these daily resets, these nervous system resets, movement, nature, quiet time, sensory tools, these are what builds calm. And this is critical. We want to make sure we have those predictable routines. We want nutritional and sensory supports because they regulate the brain, and nutrition is not just food, but it's supplements like magnesium, maybe even other things like inositol or other different forms of supplements. But magnesium is an essential. And over time, that brain learns safety and the reactions decrease. We need the reactions to decrease because the more you explode, the more you react, big emotions, the more it's going to happen. What do we do after learning all of this? We want to start tracking what is dysregulating your kid. You can't really look at it in the heat of it. So make sure you're regulating what actually helped them return to calm. Did you have to intervene every time? What did you say? Now, we don't want you in a rescue mode, but there's ways to help your kids learn coping skills that can be really helpful. Were you getting dysregulated? Think about it. Were you like, oh, every time my kid, uses a swear word, I'm super dysregulated. Why? What is that? Was that a big no-no? Did you have soap in your mouth? Start thinking about it. And then start using a reset tool before behavior escalates. That's going to be individual to your child, super important. Behavior isn't a problem, regulation is, or lack of regulation is. And when you understand the nervous system, you're going to not blame your child. You're going to start looking at each one of these behavioral components as an opportunity to help them. But just know that when they're just in the highest levels of activation, all you can do is be there for them, be present, co-regulate, help them breathe through it. And it's really the daily prevention resets that get the nervous system into a safety state, and you can do it.
Want more insights and solutions? Well, subscribe to our Dysregulation Insider, and it will show up in your inbox every week.